This is Swarfcast. I'm Noah Graff.
And we're never gonna survive unless we get a little crazy.
Often the best deals and business decisions happen when you're doing something that seems crazy to other people, and even a little bit crazy to yourself. As used machinery dealers, putting our money down to stock old, dirty machines that we're only interested in for resale, we have to have chutzpa. To some people, the business model seems a bit ridiculous, but it's how we eat. These days, I often question if it even makes sense stocking machines. Often we make good profit brokering machines we've spent no money on, right off the seller's floor. Stocking machines requires risking your cash, so you have to have some big self-confidence. It requires you to believe that you're smarter than other people, which is an important trait to make clever business moves, but as you can imagine, it could also lead to doing some very stupid stuff. Seeing other used machinery dealers out there rolling the dice on old equipment makes me feel a little more secure speccing on machines. If we were the only ones buying other people's discarded treasures, I'd be a little more nervous doing it. But still, most of our dealer contemporaries don't buy the same junk we buy. Legacy Hydromats, Davenports, Acme Gridleys, some as old as American presidents. Obviously, it's not really junk. Otherwise, we wouldn't buy it. I'm just trying to sound dramatic. Anyway, even when a deal seems really interesting, it's easy to question yourself. Why hasn't anybody else bought it? Are we really smarter than other people out there who aren't speccing on machines built in the 50s by screw machine companies that don't even exist now? And why is someone selling these machines? Do they know something we don't? Or do they just have other things they want to focus on, besides worrying about maximizing the value of their old iron that they've already written off? Nonetheless, our biggest deals these last few months have been selling a bunch of Davenports, New Britons, and Acme Gridley multi-spindle screw machines. I'm not going to lie, I was not that enthusiastic about Graff Pinkert's recent purchase of a group of these machines out of a shop in the middle of nowhere. As Rex and my dad, Lloyd, plotted their bid on the machines, I thought back to the last New Briton Model 52 we owned. It was a really nice machine that came with a lot of spare parts, and we ended up selling it very cheap after it sat in our warehouse for 4 years. I also thought about the New Britons at an auction we had 2 years ago that sold for nothing. Yet last month, we still had the audacity to buy more of the same kind of machines. But this time it worked, because we bought the machines right, and we sold them quickly for bargain prices. It was easier for Rex and my dad to pull the trigger on old, sexy, ugly iron like this, because they were around when these machines were mainstream, when their resale was paying my college tuition. But the reason the deal was a success was that other people didn't know about it, and other people weren't stupid enough or smart enough to buy it. Meanwhile, we have some beautiful, relatively late model CNC Swiss machines that have been sitting in our warehouse for 2 years, give or take. We bought them during a period when everybody was dying for Swiss, so it felt like a safe move at the time. We thought we were clever when we imported them, but we weren't. We were following the herd, the same herd that has their own similar machines taking up warehouse space right now. We need more deals that others overlook. Deals where we're competing with ourselves rather than other dealers. We need to learn about more types of machines, get out of our comfort zone, and try not to think like other people. I'm trying to take inspiration from some unconventional deals we've done in the past. Some were really profitable and some weren't, but they were still worth doing. Like when we bought our first Index MS32C CNC multi-spindle in Australia, which cost us $70,000 to ship the machine to Chicago. We then sold the machine to a shop in Italy for a huge profit. I'm also thinking about one of Graff Pinkert's most memorable deals from before I joined the business. We had a Ubama transfer machine that we just couldn't sell, so we traded it to Tony Maglica, the owner of Maglite, for 23,000 flashlights, several thousand of them monogrammed with Graff Pinkert's name. I think it took us about 20 years to give them all away. But they were interesting, high-quality swag for customers. It was a much better solution than scrapping the thing. And it was just cool. When our B2B magazine, Screw Machine World, started in 2000, we put copies in the bathroom stalls at IMTS. Did it lead to subscribers and advertisers? I don't know. But I do know it was fun, a bit crazy, and it energized us. It's the kind of thing that makes me feel alive. The kind of thing I need a hell of a lot more of at work. So what do you know more about than your competitors? What could you do that they might be afraid to do? What could you do that they would think was crazy?